This is the Mad Church Disease Podcast with your host, MarcellusMcMillian. They don't rest, so neither do we. Sit back and listen or call the show. And now, here's your host, MarcellusMcMillian.
Me on today's broadcast. We have a thunderous broadcast tonight. We've got a couple of good topics that we're going to be talking about. Of course, Marvin Winans, of course, this pastor Cornelius, and we're going to be talking about Mason Betha, or Bezda, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, dealing with him, as well as Pastor David and Nicole Walker. So let's get into it. Let me welcome all of you to today's broadcast. Hello to you. Hopefully you are well and everything about you is well. I am glad to see you here. I'm just going to peek over here at my the chat. So anytime you see me looking over here, you're going to know today that it's where the chat is. My computer was running a little bit slow, so it's finally picked up so that I can actually read off what we're actually doing here tonight. Give me one quick second here because I want to pull this completely up. Oh my goodness. It's just running so slow, computers. But anyway, it is what it is. Now, if I look a little different on today's show, it's because I have changed the location of my webcam. My webcam is now directly in front of me, whereas it used to be up here to the side here. And I sort of changed the direction of the webcam because it was just getting to be too much. And I wanted to sort of set up a system for myself that once I sat down, I could just start recording and I could use it to do what I needed to do. So hopefully you guys, this view is okay for you guys and y'all can live with it. Just give me one quick second. I'm gonna minimize this. Let me do this. Let me open up a whole new browser. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna move this all the way over. It's just going to take me a little bit of minutes to set up here. Sorry about the delay, guys. But let me see who's over in this chat. We've got, let's see here. Looks like yours truly, Moni No Love, Danielle. Hey, Danielle. Good to see you guys. Let me go to the top here. That's Kimberly Harper. Hey, Jacqueline Vines, Barbara Warren, Mary Furch, Toy, Wilson. Hello, Toy. Thank you. And thank you. And welcome to the Wilson family. Sweet Rosie, Christine Parks, Jacqueline Vines, Quinitia Richards, Rita, what's up, Rita? Deborah Thomas, thank you, Deborah. Moni No Love, The Inner Standing, Daryl Moore, hey. Claudia Williamson, hey. G. Tolbert, hello to everybody. The Inner Standing, of course. Barbara J. Warren, Ava Collier, hey Ava. Betty, got you there, Betty. And who else? Going down the line here. All right. Shout out to the 124 of you that are watching me right now. Please make sure that you hit the like button. Dewan, what's up, man? What's up, man? We come here to touch not the anointed. We come here to touch them. That's what we came here to do tonight. Hey, James. Shout out to all the new members. For those of you that have purchased your memberships, thank you so very much for your support of the Mad Church Disease podcast and our shows, and soon to become a family of shows. And we'll be talking about that real soon, and so many other things that are going to be going on. So hello to all of you. Let me just get over here and do my opening here a little bit better. But tonight we got a full show. For those of you that followed me, we were on Daryl Moore's channel yesterday, and you guys got to forgive me tonight because I am tired. I got to be honest with you. I am beat like an old Hebrew slave because I'm doing a whole bunch of work and trying to catch up and trying to get a lot of things done that that have just been overwhelming. And so I'm just trying to make sure that I get everything caught up. All right, so that's where I'm at. Okay, here we go. Let me see here. Oh no, that's not the one I wanted to open up. Oh goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it's going to open up at some point. This stuff be cracking me up. Are you going to open up? Thank you. All right. So, and then it went away. Okay. Interesting. All right. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties, but that's what happens when your computer's a little bit slow. But here we go. We got Marvin Winans tonight. The fallout, of course, continues with that. Cornelius Lindsey is his name. We're talking about Mace, and I think Mace's last name is Bethesda or Besda. We got Pastor David and Anna Walker that we're going to be talking about tonight as well. So, yeah, we got a couple of good things to discuss tonight. So please make sure you hit the like button, and I'm going to open up the phone lines. Some of you might have heard this Cornelius story on some other platforms, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because of some members and some people out in social media have been talking about this particular case, and I felt like, okay, well then maybe we might need to just mention it. It's not something that I am overwhelmingly just into as far as a topic is concerned, but we will discuss it on tonight. And of course, we're going to deal with old bald-headed Marvin Winans a little bit later. Okay, so shout out to all of the moderators and the folks in the chat. Shout out to all of you guys as well. You guys know I always like to start the show off by taking care of a couple of things as far as house rules are concerned. If you are looking for me to find me, you can find me on social media. You will see my Instagram handle. That's Instagram/MarcellusMcMillian, and you can find me there. You can also find me on Twitter at /MarcellusMcMillian. You'll be able to find me there as well. All of our shows, of course, are supported by Cash App. And for those of you that support the shows, of course, we appreciate it. We wanted to just simply let you guys know how the shows are supported. Can you guys hear me okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Because I have the mic a little further away from me tonight than normal. So can you guys hear okay? Can you hear me all right? Just wanting to know if you can hear me. Okay. I think you guys can hear me fine. All right. So that's where we're at. Okay, good. All right, so let's get into tonight's program. First of all, again, thank you to all of you who support the channel. Thank y'all so very much. I really do appreciate it, and I know I just say that a lot, but I just want to make sure that I reiterate it and just keep saying it to you, because I want you to know without your support, these shows just cannot be possible. And so I really do appreciate it. And so I'm looking forward to hopefully sometime in the middle of the year getting a brand new, faster computer that'll be able to handle a multiplicity of things while I'm working. And so I'm looking forward to that. So thank you. Somebody says they got low volume. Well, then you need to turn up your volume, Betty. I don't know why all of you guys kill me or put on your headphones. Because let me tell you something, Betty. I have myself on my television over here on the other side of me. You can't see. That's my TV. Well, then you need to turn up your volume. I can literally hear myself. All I have to do is turn up my television. So I know that you can hear me. So, okay. Somebody said it's lower than before. Okay. And that's because I don't have the mic all the way over to my mouth. Because if I had this thing all the way over to my mouth, then you would be able to hear me a little bit better. Okay. I don't want to bring this all the way over into the shot, but of course now it is. So you should not have any sort of trouble. Or if you got trouble, put on your headphones. Okay. Put on your headphones. That's it. Father and the God. I'm tired. Didn't I tell y'all when I started off? I told you I was tired. I'm tired. Oh, man, oh, Lordy. All right, so I'm tired, y'all. I'm real serious. I am beat like an old Hebrew slave. I'm tired. But I wanted to make sure that I did this show and I didn't put this show off because I love y'all and I didn't want y'all to have to wait. And so please be nice. But I'm telling you right now, there ain't going to be no show on Sunday night. I ain't coming back here because I got to do a show tomorrow. I got to do a show tonight. I got to do a show tomorrow night. And I ain't doing no show on Sunday night. If I do a show on Sunday night, I ain't coming on camera. I'm just going to talk. So I'm telling y'all that right now. I'm tired. Okay. I'm tired. I'm beat. Okay, so anyway, let's get into tonight's show. Of course, we want to talk about what's going on in the social media space. But I just need to say a couple of things. First of all, for those of you who watch my program, you all should understand something. This is a commentating program. All I do is make commentary. My commentary, I'm not perfect in my commentary. I may make a mistake. I may make an error in my commentary. But it's just me talking, okay? It's just me talking. I'm having good conversation. I'm talking about things that are out in the social media space or whatever it may be. It could be in the church sector. It could be in the social sector, whatever it could be. I just choose today not to talk about Donald Trump because I just ate a little something and I don't feel like giving it back, okay? Because that means otherwise I'd probably end up throwing up. I'm just saying, I don't want to talk about the man anymore. But to all of the people that stormed the Capitol on yesterday, you going to jail. I'm very happy about that. To the 62-year-old man that decided he wanted to spend the rest of his life behind bars, because that's what's going to happen to you because you put your foot up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Good day to you, sir. You're going to be gone. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I'm so very thankful and grateful that there are a lot of cameras around that place. That's all I have to say about that. That's it. But I want to thank you all so much for tuning in tonight and watching the program, etc. So, so that's into that. That's into that. All right, so let's get into the program tonight. Let's talk about our first story. Let me pull that up while I'm talking to y'all. Let's go ahead and pull that up so it'll be up, or is that going to work? I don't understand why everything, and I actually now have it in two places, so just in case it don't show up in one place, because it looks like this other place is not showing up. It's running real slow, so I don't have time for that tonight. But anyway, let's get out of that. All right, you all. So we're going to talk about this story tonight. First up is Pastor. We're going to talk about Pastor. We're going to talk. Oh, shoot. It just covered up the whole thing. Oh, shucks. That's not supposed to happen. The software I'm using is having an issue, so that didn't work right. But if you guys can still hear me, we're going to talk about Pastor David Walker. If you can see him on the screen here. Oh, my Lord, that is not right. That's Pastor David Walker. Oh, God. Is that going to do that for every one of these things? Yes, it is. The software was having a glitch. So it's a technical night tonight. It's a technical night tonight. So with that being said, let me see if I can pull up the photos here. Hold on one second. Got some technical difficulties. Oh, great. Great. Hold on, y'all. I'm just going to pull up the photos. Talk amongst yourselves. let me get these photos together here. Hold on. Okay, let me get this stuff together. All right, hold on. Wow. And something told me to double check those photos because something told me that those photos wasn't going to work right tonight. Because the software program that I use that fixes the photos, they went through an upgrade and they're now doing everything on HTML5. And because they're doing everything on HTML5, it is creating a little bit of a mess, I shall say. A little bit of a mess. Wow. Okay. But shout out to the 243 of you guys watching. Thank y'all so much for watching tonight. I appreciate it. Just running through my little technical difficulty. We're going to solve the problem here shortly. We're going to solve it. We're going to solve it. We're going to solve it. The Lord says we're going to solve it. Let's see here. All right, let me see if it's going to let me share my screen. Give me a second here. Share my darn screen. Okay. All right. Hopefully it'll show up here in a second. There we go. All right. So this particular gentleman you see here, let's go through this case and we'll talk about this a little bit. This is former youth pastor David Walker and his wife. They have been accused of sexual battery. And he actually, Daryl, this is a man from Cleveland, Ohio. And let me just read to you what it says. It says, following a year-long investigation involving the North Olmsted and North Ridgeville police departments, authorities say that they have obtained an indictment against David Walker and his wife Anna for several counts of sexual battery. Okay. Authorities say the alleged assaults took place between May 2005 and December 2007, while David was a youth pastor for Church Alive International in Cleveland, and later at the dwelling place of Family Worship Center in North Olmsted. So this is the situations. Now, here's what this whole case involves. It involves a 14-year-old girl who police say was a parishioner and a member of both youth group churches. Walker was also a teacher and a coach at the Cleveland Christian Academy, police say. All right. Him and his wife decided to turn themselves in because this particular 14-year-old girl actually made this accusation and went after them for this particular case. Now, let me get into this a little bit more. Here we go. The grand jury actually brought them up on charges involving a minor. And it says here that according to the copy of the indictment, which says the alleged sexual assault happened in December 2004 with the then 14-year-old girl, and it lasted until 2006. So look at this, Roxanne. So for those of you that are supporting Roxanne's new channel about, victims and individuals speaking out. So Roxanne, this actually took place between 2004 all the way up until 2006. And this guy was the youth pastor, and she was a member of two churches, and I guess that's how this particular guy was able to get in. Now, not only was he charged, but his wife was also charged as well. Let me see if we can get to the wife's picture here. We'll get to that in a minute. All right. Him and his wife have been charged. Okay. And so she was charged as well as he. The grand jury actually has charged both of them with the sexual battery and sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl. Let me tell you all something. When it comes to these particular cases and cases like this, and one of the reasons why I constantly and consistently highlight these types of cases, because when people come to my channel, and I'm always talking about cases that other vloggers are not talking about. The only vlogger that I know who really does it on this kind of a level and brings out these types of cases is Dawson Speaks. And one of the reasons why I talk about these cases is because I need for people to understand, especially when it comes to taking your family to the institutional church, you definitely need to use precaution, to use caution and to use precautionary measures as it relates to your children, and not willy-nilly give your children over to someone simply because they call themselves pastor or they call themselves first lady. When you look at a case like this is involving a 14-year-old girl who, unfortunately, this woman and her husband decided that they were going to assault this young lady, and they assaulted her. And this is something that, happened to her at the age of 14 years old. Now, here's something else, too. We have to understand, too. It's very hard for victims to speak out and to talk about these types of cases. This is not something that is easy for people to bring out or to discuss. You guys understand what I'm saying? It's not a situation where, it's easy for folks to discuss it and to bring it out. When people bring out these types of cases, normally they bring out these types of cases because, they bring them out because, of the stuff that's happened, but it's taken them a long time to get up the courage to even talk about the things. And for this man and this woman to use their position of power to assault this young lady and to assault her, it puts things in a whole different, perspective. And church people have to understand something, and believers at large have to understand something. Just because somebody puts the name pastor or first lady or whatever, evangelist, missionary, in front of their name, don't just willy-nilly give over your authority to these people and give that over to them, because ultimately you could be signing your child over or your spouse over to be manipulated. And this isn't even just about children. I want to just make that clear as well. You have a lot of women and a lot of men who go to churches for, counseling, and they end up getting into all sorts of sexual relationships and all sorts of relationships with the pastor and these first ladies because of, these unhealthy kind of situations. And so it's necessary. It really is. It's necessary that we understand and that people understand that this is not something that is abnormal. I need for y'all to understand something. This happens way more than people are willing to discuss or talk about. I just want to say that this happens a lot, you all. This isn't something that don't happen a lot. This happens a lot. Oh, I'm sorry. I took that down. Sorry about that, y'all. But it happens way more than people are willing to admit. And here on the Mad Church Disease channel, y'all know I am really big on having these types of conversations. And I'm going to move the chat over so I can see y'all, because I can't see y'all. I can't see the chat. Okay, now I can see the chat. And I'm looking in the right place for the chat. Okay, great. All right, cool. So you all can still see that. Good. So with this particular pastor, that's the issue there. And I wanted to look at some of your comments and see what you're saying. All right. Yeah, and I agree. There needs to be some checks and balances here, because there are always predators involved with every job, or every profession. But you have to understand. When you put the name pastor, when you put the word pastor onto the situation, it really makes certain people, let their guard down, because you're automatically given some sort of respect level and trust level. Even though it may not be merited and you really may not deserve the trust level that you're given, a lot of these people are given that trust level, and it's shameful, but it's really true. And it's just because they have the word pastor in front of their name, and because they have the word pastor in front of their name, they get that trust level. And it is most certainly a dangerous situation, and and we can all see that. Now let me read to you something else I was able to find on this case. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, wait. Now, this guy here, David, he worked as a youth pastor, and he also worked at a youth pastor, I guess, in two places. So he wasn't just a youth pastor in one place, he was a youth pastor in two places. And because of that, I think a lot of people let down their guard, and a lot of these people allowed this man to have access to kids and first. All right. And I know what y'all are thinking. Yeah, I said the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. When I saw this picture, hold on, let me get over there. I said the same thing. I said the same darn thing. Yes, I did, Jesus. But no, apparently that's a woman. And, in the words of Mrs. Kwan from Mad TV, it looked like a man, but, It looking like a man. Looking like a man. Y'all remember Miss Quan from Mad TV? It looking like a man. But it is what it is. But yeah, so that's that situation. Please make sure that you guys hit the like button. Please make sure you hit the like button. All right. So yeah, and these are the so-called youth pastors. But these people are always given a level of trust. And I have been saying for years, and I'm going to reiterate this. There needs to be some psychological exams, and there needs to be some tests given, especially when individuals are going to be working with other people's children. And we most certainly need to be running some of these people through some type of test, because just willy-nilly giving over your children to these people is a nut situation to me. It really truly is. Total nut situation. And I think the more we understand that, and the more we really make it clear about that, then we don't put ourselves in a position to where we can allow our children who are already vulnerable enough to be put in a position to where they can be taken advantage of by these so-called preachers and pastors. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I understand that. I definitely get that too. I get it. I miss Mad TV. I miss Mrs. Quan, Mrs. Wong, Quan, whatever her name was. She used to have me cracking up. Listen to Roxanne. I know it's a strong chin, but according to the report, I don't know, understanding. I don't know. Y'all are something else. Y'all something else. Yeah, I think you need to watch your kids like you watch your money. Absolutely. Yeah, just be very, very careful. Just be very careful. I think being careful where you send your kids is just important as far as I'm concerned. And I only highlight these stories because I really think that these stories every week, if you notice, every week, we got a new story to tell about somebody's pastor, youth pastor, who is molesting somebody's child. And that's just something that happens, and it keeps happening. But yeah, so we definitely want to make sure that we pay attention. This is Pastor David and his wife. I'm David and Anna Walker. This person's name is Anna. So that's what her name's supposed to be, Anna. Yeah. But let's get over here to and I'm glad I do my stuff the way that I do. But this is the pastor, and so it's definitely going to be a different situation as it relates to this. But yeah. He was the youth pastor who took advantage of the young lady. And it's really sad that this is a situation. Yeah. So very, very interesting. Very, very interesting story. All right. Very interesting story. Now, the next story that I want to mention to you guys, I've been hearing a lot of stuff on social media. Just a lot of stuff, right? And I have a lot of people coming to me asking me about this guy, Cornelius. Let's see if I can find his picture here. I know I had a picture of him. Okay, it ain't gonna show Cornelius. Okay. All right, hang on a moment, because it don't want to show Cornelius right now. Let me see something here, y'all. Give me one quick second. Find out where Cornelius's photo is. Where's his picture? Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know what the world that is. What's about that? But anyway, if you guys know, Cornelius would be the guy that's in the middle here. So he would be the guy in the middle. So Cornelius is a pastor, and was the pastor of, let me see here. Hold on. What was the name of this church? Oh my goodness. Why is my notes taking so long tonight? Oh, my notes taking too long. Okay. Anyway, I'll tell you in a minute. Give me a second. Because my notes is taking too long to come up. Oh my goodness. Technical difficulties. It is what it is. All right. All right. We'll get to this in a second. But Pastor Cornelius, and I'm about to blow this up. I tell you the truth. Can y'all see that? Hold on, let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, the two gentlemen that you see on your screen there are Pastor Cornelius and also Mason, better known as Mace to the rap community. In a post shared on Twitter on the first Sunday in the new year, the Gathering Oasis Church in Atlanta revealed that the former rapper, whose real name is Mason Betha, or Betha, will now be its new pastor. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Mace is about to be the pastor of this church here in Atlanta. It's called the Gathering Oasis Church in Atlanta. Okay? The former rapper is now about to be the pastor. Here's what it says. Well, before I get into this, let me play something for you all. Now, let me tell you something. Before I play this, I do not want y'all texting me, emailing me, telling me you couldn't hear. Put in your earphones, because it worked for me, and I'm going to test it to make sure that I can hear it across the room. Please make sure you put in your headphones so you can hear it. And those of you that are coming by this on YouTube or Facebook, there's no need for you to tell me you can't hear. It ain't something wrong with me. It's something wrong with the equipment that you're using or something to that effect, okay? Because it's not us. Because everybody else could hear it last week except a few of you guys. I guess y'all are on Boost Mobile. I don't know what you guys are using. Y'all must be on them Boost Mobile phones. I don't know. But before he did this, he made a statement to the church, and I want to play for you guys the statement that he actually made to the church. So take a listen at this, and then you can make a judgment about how you feel about what he said.
Inspire you to do anything. I can compel you to do anything. If a life of Jonah can compel you to do anything, that is to be obedient. Even if the place or the assignment that God has given you is not one that you want. Although I believe I could do more in front of the pulpit instead of behind it, it does not mean that there will not be a pastor and his family behind that pulpit to continue to lead this church. So for that very reason, I don't believe this is necessarily a goodbye. Rather, it is a let's do something else. With that, all that said, last week, I submitted my resignation as pastor of the Gathering Oasis Church. In doing so, I have, with joy, sat down many times with what I believe to be a man who is going to take over as pastor of this church and who is going to lead this church in ways in which I never could. It is my desire that he would take this church into new ground that ultimately I was not there to take it to. In any transition, there is always a Moses. We have to remember that Moses never saw the promised land, although he had a vision of it.
Okay, so that's Pastor Cornelius Lindsey. He was the pastor of the Gathering Oasis Church who has officially stepped down. Now, when I was doing my research on this case, and let me make sure that I take my time with this because I want to be really careful with this and the things that I say. When I was doing my research, I started listening to some former church members and some former members of the church and some other vloggers and people who had put information out on this particular story. Whoa. Somebody said I got 87 likes and I got 333 of you watching me right now. Oh, let's take a pause break right here. I need at least 120 of you to hit the X button and to go out of the live chat and to please hit the like button. I'll wait on you while you do that because I got a lot of stuff to talk about. And we got to get into some things, so I need y'all to do that. Go ahead and hit the like button. I'll wait on you while you do it. I'm going to even join you because I ain't even hit the like button on my own video. How about that? Almost 400 of you guys watching. Come on, please hit the like button. There's 336 of you now. Please hit the like button. If you're in the live chat, you can hit out of the live chat and it will allow you to come back in. So I promise you we won't disappear if you go out and hit the like button. Can I get at least 10 more of you guys right now? At least 10 to 15 more of you guys right now to go hit the like button, please. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. All right. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. Just want to take a few moments. Now, the reason why we ask you to hit the like button, guys, it just helps to show that, there is engagement with the video, etc. So I really do appreciate it when you guys hit the like button. So thank you. Thank you. Because you don't have to do it, but I want to let you know I appreciate it. Shout out to the 333 of you watching me live right now. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Even to the people that, are off in the bushes that don't never come in. God bless you. I appreciate y'all watching too. Now, let me talk a little bit about this particular story. So, I started searching around social media because some people started reaching out to me about this particular case. And I'm like, what is this story here? I don't see a story here. He's a pastor. The like button, if you're watching this on YouTube, that would be right underneath the video. If you're watching this on your phone, you'll see a little thumbs up button. It looks like a thumb. I believe it still looks like a thumb, right? Yeah. So hit the little thumbs up button and that will take care of it. So a lot of people sent me information regarding this case. And I was like, I don't really see the big deal here. But then I guess some of the former members and some of the people started talking to me. And they started saying, okay, well, he's not really saying why he's stepping down. But some of the members were talking about, being spiritually abused in the ministry. They were also talking about the fact that there was a possibility of some mismanagement of funds. And of course, all of this is alleged because I didn't go to the church. I don't know any of that stuff. But you can definitely look up some information on YouTube as it relates to other members of the church who have been putting out videos about this particular gentleman. And so what I wanted to talk about more or less is the person that he chose to be the pastor after he's simply saying he's not stepping down. He's just, he's gonna be doing something else. And I just found the wording of it very strange. And I also always find it very, very strange when these people always try to compare themselves to some sort of biblical character. somebody in the scripture, when they try to compare themselves with the people in the Bible, it just drives me crazy. You're not Moses, Cornelius, and you're not Moses. And so you mentioning Moses in the course of you trying to explain away why you're leaving your congregation, it doesn't hold water with me. And so, Pastor Cornelius, let me just address what some of the members and the people have been coming to me and saying to me. I don't know whether or not this is accurate or not, or true or not, but I have been hearing that you did not step down, or you did not agree to step down until after some of the members and people started complaining. And they started complaining about your abuse of them, as well as the $10,000 a month salary that you were getting. And when the COVID situation hit, and the money is actually, drying up, according to some of the members, you want to move on. So much so that some of the people are informing me that in order for people to receive any more word of the Lord from you, they have to pay $9.99. I'm not really sure how that sort of factors into your going forward in ministry. If the people are going to have to pay you the $9.99 in order to get any more, revelation knowledge or anything from you as their former pastor, they're going to have to pay for it. And so I just find this all very, very, very interesting. Now, let me read to you what the article said, but I also want to say this. Your choice of person to follow behind you is very suspect to me as well. Let me just say this. Choosing Mace to pastor your church. Mace is a rapper 1 minute, pastor another minute, back rapping again, and then he was back rapping, and now he wants to come back and pastor again. I'm so confused by Mace. I don't understand why. And I'm going to tell you what I kind of felt in my mind when I heard this. Let me tell you what I heard in my mind. I don't know if this is true, but something kind of fell on me to where this sounds more like a business deal between the two of you. I don't know if that is true, but it sounds like to me you guys have struck some sort of deal, because how could he willy-nilly just come out of nowhere and be the pastor of this church? I'd like to know whether or not you all had some sort of relationship beforehand. Was he a member of the church? Where did he come from? So he doesn't really know these sheep. He doesn't know these people in the congregation. So for him to just be able to come and now be the pastor sounds really, really interesting. Very, very interesting to me. Now, some of the members also said to me that when the money was drying up, there was one service where you guys actually had only 10 people in the service. And because I guess people were getting wind of what's been going on, and you had 10 people in the service, and they said even before COVID, you were having less and less people were actually showing up to the ministry and showing up to the church. I don't know if that's true or not, nor do I care. But I just want to let you know it's very, very interesting that, you just come out of the woodwork and Mace is now the pastor of your church. I just find it very, very interesting. So let me read the article to you, ladies and gentlemen, what it actually says. It says, in a post shared on Twitter on the first Sunday in the new year, the Gathering Oasis Church in Atlanta revealed that the former rapper, whose real name is Mason Betha, will now be its new pastor. Join us in welcoming our new leader, Pastor Mason Betha. The tweet read alongside a photo of the What You Want rapper. I don't know anything about what this What You Want must be a song or something that he made famous. I don't know the What You Want song. Okay. Pastor Cornelius Lindsey, Pastor Mason Betha. Mace will be replacing Pastor Cornelius Lindsey, who revealed in a lengthy Instagram post that he and his wife Heather Lindsey started the church during the same month and year the on and off again rapper transitioned out of the church environment. And when I started contemplating moving on from pastoring 3 years ago, you were considering coming back, he wrote. God was directing our paths individually. Now this is what he's saying. Now he put this in an Instagram post. I wonder if I make that bigger. Oh no, that's gonna go too big. Okay, I know y'all can't see this as well as I want y'all to see it. All right, hold on a minute. Let's see if we can make it just a little bigger. Okay, there we go. So he puts this out in this Instagram post, right? And he says, when I was contemplating leaving, you were contemplating coming back. He said, until it was time for us to come together, and the timing was perfect. If all God wanted me to do was remain content in my assignment until you were ready, then I'm fine with that. That's what he says here on this particular Twitter picture and post. As fans of the rapper may remember, Mace famously retired from hip-hop in 1999 to pursue a religious career. He later became an ordained minister while studying at Clark Atlanta University. He was also the head pastor of the El Elyon International Church in Atlanta. However, after a 5-year break, the 43-year-old returned to the rap scene with the release of his comeback album, Welcome Back. The star left his bad boy ties with Sean Diddy Combs and aligned himself with 50 Cent's G-Unit crew. May spoke about the new position, and now he plans to bring his community closer to God. In an interview shared on the church's office YouTube page, I really see this generation being turned into God's hands, Mason expressed around the 14-minute mark. He added, I think that there's been a major challenge with the city, like being able to direct people back to God, and I really welcome the challenge to do so. Let me tell you something. You know, when you hear stuff like this, see, let me tell you something. He said, I really see this generation being turned back into God's hands. Listen, Mace, they already in his hand. That's something you learn in elementary. When you go to Sunday school, they teach you that right off the bat, sir. He got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world. And remember that? In his hands. He's got the whole world. In his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. See, this is why I don't understand why people let these folk just pastor them with these elementary things that they be saying. It's so stupid. They're already in his hand. The Bible says that the earth is the Lord and everything and everyone that dwells therein. Everything belongs to God, sir. Everybody's already in his hand. That's what the scripture says. So I don't understand where you're coming from with this whole, we're going to put everybody back in the hand of God. No, they're in his hand. They're in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hands. Okay? Now, here's a funny thing. Here's the funny thing. I think it's very interesting how people who are in these leadership positions can just move right on whenever they want to move right on. Are you guys familiar, for those of you that's been in church for a long time? Y'all know for a long time, many preachers, many pastors would tell you all the time that in order for you to get your blessing from the Lord and for you to receive whatever it is from God that you needed to receive, that you had to be planted in the ministry, that you couldn't go nowhere, that you had to make sacrifices, and you had to make sure that you sat down and you planted your roots deep and you stayed in the ministry and you did whatever the Lord said for you to do while you were in the ministry. Am I the only one that remembers those kind of sayings and speeches and messages coming across pulpits? I find it really interesting that these preachers can just willy-nilly disappear. And they can just willy-nilly go about their business and go away when they want to go away, when they decide that they want to do something else. Now, you said you was called And thank you. Shout out to Melody for the Cash App. Thank you, Melody. You know, you all said that that the people in the pew had to be planted. But all of a sudden, when y'all decide that y'all done and y'all won't want to do it no more, y'all can just willy-nilly up and leave. And leave the people, leave the sheep that you say you were called to pastor. I find it really, really interesting, me personally. I find it so interesting. Now, maybe that's just me, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's how I feel about it. And I'm gonna open up the phone lines here. I'm getting them prepared as we speak, because I want y'all to be able to chime in. But I just find it very, very interesting that you all can just willy-nilly go away when you want to go away, and you don't have to have no kind of nobody can come and say, hey, you know, you said, Pastor, that God told you that you were supposed to be in the ministry and you were supposed to be with us and you were supposed to do stuff, and then all of a sudden you disappear, just like Jamal Bryant. Somebody else. Jamal Bryant picked himself up from Baltimore, left them people going, and he went on to New Birth. But you said God called you to pastor there. And if God called you to pastor there, I'm just amazed that you all can just consistently be packing up and moving and going somewhere else. I might have to find me another setup for these calls. Let me see. Hopefully I don't want that to come popping out of there. But, you know, it's very interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. And I just want to put on my headphones so in case anybody calls, I'll be able to take your call. But I just find it very, very interesting to tell you guys, ladies and gentlemen, I just find it so interesting that these preachers can do this. And according to your members and some of the people that have reached out, it seems to them that there was a lot of spiritual abuse going on here, Cornelius. And a lot of people are not necessarily in agreement with your explanation as to why you're stepping down. And I don't know this story per se. The only thing I can tell you is if there was spiritual abuse going on, that's one of the reasons why Mad Church Disease Channel exists, because there are a lot of people who try and deny that there is even such a thing as spiritual abuse. But of course, there are a lot of people who get abused, and there are a lot of people who have issues, and there are a lot of people that have things going on in this institution. And for the most part, everybody wants to sweep everything under the rug, and they never want to take responsibility for it. Well, here's the thing. When you get on Instagram and you get on social media and you make posts and you say things like, you know, you want to welcome this guy back, but now he goes from being a rapper, gone back in rapping, and now he just comes right into this position of being the pastor. I just find it very, very unique. I just find that, honestly, I just find it very unique. I really do. And I think it's very interesting that y'all just let him do it. I really do. Caller ending in 4434. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
I guess I would like to ask, like, where are you getting your information from? Because I was listening to you read that bio, and that bio wasn't correct.
Okay, well, that's why we have these conversations, and you're more than welcome. But this is actually information and it's not an actual bio. That's actually articles that have been published across the internet in various different newspapers and articles. So I don't pull the bio information. I just read the articles that are here. But since you're saying that the information is incorrect, now what's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
My name is Daryl. I'm calling from Los Angeles, California.
Okay, Daryl, how would you like to help me clear up the information? Because of course, you know, that's one of the reasons why I have hold on, let me finish. That's why I have a phone number, so that in case any of the information is incorrect or anybody would like to add to the conversation, you can do so. So what would you like to add, sir?
Well, I want to ask because I want to make sure, is this a religious based show, or is this a gossip show? Someone actually someone actually texted me and told me they told me about the show. So I just want to make sure.
Okay.
Before we get started,
there's no.
I kind of know where my mind is.
Okay, there's no need for you to question. The show's called Mad Church Disease. It's not a.
I'm not questioning.
Hold on. I understand that, but I'm trying to give you an understanding. You asked the question. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're talking to Marcellus. I'm on the Mad Church Disease program. You asked a question. I want to answer the question. Here is the answer for you. The show is called Mad Church Disease. It is not a gossip show. I simply talk about and give commentary to information that is public as it relates to news articles, things that have gone on television as far as, has been reported by the news. I don't dig up information. I don't go looking in cyberspace for people's gossip. I only discuss things as it relates to the institutional church. Now, let me also say this. This is not a church show. This is a show about church.
That's what I was asking.
Which is a little bit different. Okay. All right. So now you know where we stand.
That's the understanding. There we go. So that's what I needed to understand.
Absolutely.
Okay. The whole time during the whole bad boy period, the whole time during the G Unit period, the man was still preaching. So I'm not a part of the congregation anymore. I hadn't been a part of the congregation since 2012.
Okay.
So I can't speak.
And what congregation was that, sir?
I was a part of St. Church International. So I can speak to that. I ran sound for him. I did recording studio stuff with him. So yeah, I can speak to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But I don't believe I said that he wasn't preaching. I just read the article that simply said that he stepped away from pastoring. Now, would that have been an accurate statement that he stepped away from pastoring?
That was very inaccurate because the man was still pastoring and preaching.
Okay, and what church was he pastoring for the last 3 or 4 years?
I can't speak to what he did the last 3 or 4 years. I wasn't there. I was only listening to what you were saying and.
Okay, because that's what I mentioned in the article. The article says that he stepped away from the actual position of pastoring while he went back into doing the rap situation, and now he's coming back.
You said the G Unit, you said the Welcome Back, and then the G Unit. During that time period, he was still pastoring.
Oh, okay. So
that's what I'm letting you know.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. Okay, so while he
that's what I was trying to understand.
So while he was doing the G Unit stuff, and see, this is why I like to have the phone call. That's why I don't mind folks calling because it helps to clear up stuff. And definitely if it's wrong. So while he was doing with the G Unit stuff, he was still pastoring, or he was still ministering and traveling and so forth.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. All of that stuff everything was still going on. So you were saying, how could you still do the same, and how could people still do that? Man, it was. I'm gonna tell you, during that time period, it was still, even before he went back into rapping, before the Welcome Back. Man, it was always like a bunch of. It was the best time of my life as far as learning about God. Like I didn't go to a conventional church. He was one of probably the only people that got me into going back to church, because I had already said that I wasn't want to do that. So for young people, he was very good at, we were leading a very, pretty much a godly lifestyle. I know for a fact that, man, me growing up, I never experienced anything like that before. And I'm just being honest with you. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I think that a lot of young people who maybe are unfamiliar with the church culture or the church community at large per se, if that's the first, was that your first experience with church? Was the experience that you had with Mason? Oh, okay,
I was a church kid.
Okay,
no, it wasn't. I grew up in church just like a lot of kids, always at church, always at. So it was a break from religion. It wasn't religious.
Okay.
You see what
well,
I'm
let me
saying?
ask you another question. Were you familiar with Mason's past with Creflo Dollar? Were you familiar with that?
I was, yes.
Okay.
I was familiar with all of that.
Okay. And what would you say if someone who Well, as far as I remember, he was being well, this is what May said. Now I don't know because I wasn't there. He said that he was being mentored. He said he was being mentored by Creflo Dollar. Would you see? Go ahead.
That was accurate.
Okay. Would you see why
that was accurate?
Would you see why some people might think it might be a little problematic if he's being mentored by Creflo Dollar? Do you think some people might have an issue with him being mentored or see an issue there?
If people have a problem with Creflo Dollar, they definitely will have a problem with that. I can understand that.
Okay. All right. Now, I understand, and I thank you, my friend, for calling in and clearing that up. So, ladies and gentlemen, the caller has cleared it up for us. He was actually preaching and traveling and pastoring while he was still in the whole G unit type situation. You know what, caller? Did you leave, caller? I think the caller left. My goodness, I had another question. Caller ending in 6812, you're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Oh, man, this is a great conversation. But I'm just enjoying you tonight, Brother Marcellus.
Thank you so much.
I enjoy every time I watch you. This is my second time calling, and I'm glad I got through. You are such a breath of fresh air in discussing these topics because no one is really out here doing this besides, my brother Dawson from Dawson and me.
Right.
And so I thank God for you because you are that yardstick and that measuring rule by which things can be measured because you come off unbiased.
Right.
You're like, I love the way you defend this show and say this is not a church show. Right. So what it does is it gives people a common ground to be able to talk and everything. And I thank you for your bravery and standing forth and doing that. And and I also thank you for being that listening ear, that unbiased listening ear. Even though I know you're still saved and sanctified, brother, but I understand. But you know how to be unbiased with it. Well, you know how to be unbiased with it.
I'm a real person.
Something that I had to learn myself.
Right. I'm just a real dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a real guy.
Exactly. And I feel the same way.
Right. But here's the thing.
I feel the same way because I refuse to cheapen the God that I know. There's certain things that I just know that he would do. And I don't want to cheapen him like that because to me, we ought to be reflecting what God really should be doing to people. Like that's the only way we're gonna change people. Right. But I don't know if the caller understands the fact that it would seem to be problematic to me, even if he was still working with G Unit and the G Unit crew and still preaching. That's still problematic. And I don't understand. I don't understand. It's very problematic. When he was saying, he said something that caught me. And I wish I could have been on this, would have been a three-way conversation. I'm like, how do you leave a pretty much godly lifestyle? Pretty much. Right. It's like, dude, either you're really working on it. And look, I know no one's perfect. Nobody's walk is perfect. But God understands and sees you when you are trying to walk, even when you fall down. Right. He helps pick you back up if you can get back up. But there is no such thing to me as a pretty much godly lifestyle. What was that about? Dude, you can't have. I'm sorry, I still believe you can't have one foot in the world and try to have one foot in the church. Well, that gives you well, I think you have to be honest about it. I think, but I also think you need to be honest about it. I think exactly. I think be honest and upfront about it. Right. You're 100% right. We all have our vices. Right. And I'm not saying that we're perfect. Right. But be upfront about it. Right. I think it was problematic here in this situation. Can I just say this? I think it makes it very suspect to me. I have to be personally honest. For this gentleman to come out of nowhere because this other pastor is deciding that he's going to leave. And all of a sudden, here comes Mace. And I lived in Atlanta when Mace was over there at the church that he was pastoring. I didn't go to this church, but I would drive by and I was here. And then when finally he kind of slid back into doing rap, all of a sudden the church was just empty because I went by quite a few Sundays. Yeah. And everything drove by that. the church, and I'm like, man, this parking lot is like a ghost town over here.
If I don't know if you remember or not, caller, but there was some discrepancy with some money situation when he was pastoring.
Exactly.
Back then. Now I didn't bring that up. I was gonna ask the caller about that, but I don't know. He went away a little too soon.
I wanted him to clear that up for real.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, it is. What's the word for it? It's problematic. It's problematic, first of all, because
let's say it like that. When it's almost like you're trying to live two lifestyles.
Yeah.
And everything.
Well, not only that. Well, where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? These people don't know
exactly.
you.
Well, what is your doctrine? How sound? And then you, from what I'm gathering and seeing, you're trying to serve two masters. And that's already scriptural. God says you can't serve two masters.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting. I want to thank you so much for calling in, caller. Very, very
thank
interesting.
You.
You're welcome.
Hey, brother, continue to be strong. And, hey, I'm at a new job. As soon as I get paid, I'm going to cash up you, bro. I got you.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. All right. All right, guys. Hey, I love it when you guys call in. Listen, we don't always have to agree along. I want everybody to call in, and you can have your thoughts and have your statements as well. But like I try to tell everybody who watches this program, this is not a church show. This is a show about church. And we discuss things that happen in the institutional church and other places as well. All right, caller ending in 5880. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
What's going on, Marcellus? This is DeJuan.
Oh, what's up? What's up, brother? You down there in that hot ATL. You was down there when he was what was that saying he used to have? Stop Mace, you're killing them. When he was down there doing the Stop Mace, you're killing them. So what would you like to add to the conversation?
I worked with somebody that went to the church. And it was just interesting. They had like this little storefront building, and Mace had security with the earpieces, like the Secret Service in the ear. I mean, it was just a lot going on. But the 2 points I wanted to make was the caller from Los Angeles that went to the church who was working the soundboard said he felt kind of like trying to justify that Mace Pastor was able to still do what he was doing with Diddy and G Unit and still come preach. And that's part of the problem. And the reason why you have this platform is because people don't understand. In John 17, verse 18 through 19, Jesus specifically said he sent out the disciples who were ministers. And he said, I sanctify myself, and for their sakes, I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. So they were sent out, and they couldn't preach and teach and minister and go from town to town unless they first were sanctified.
Yeah, sanctification, but exactly. There we go. I was going to get there. You said it, finally. I was waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a process that was required for pastors and ministers. You just couldn't hop off the stage or off the stripper pole and then just go preach the next day. If there had to be a separation if you did. If you were stripping the previous day, you had to forsake stripping before you went into the pulpit. You couldn't then go back and strip, because Jesus even told the woman caught in adultery, he's like, okay, go sin no more. So that's the point I think we got to understand. When we're blinded by celebrity, we think these guys can put on and take off pastoring like they do their favorite Gucci outfit. Mm-hmm. They just put it on and take it off whenever they want to. The second point I want you to extrapolate on is, how is it that for years they'll tell you to serve and work and labor and slave and donate your tithe or your talent to serve in the house, but every time they get ready to have an opening, they never pick anybody from inside the house.
Right.
They have to go outside and find a mace. And we can name every church where you have seen New Birth and everywhere else. They go find somebody outside of the quote-unquote sons and daughters of the house that are so-called groomed to be loyal but they never get the position.
Well,
they never get the opportunity.
But I'm gonna suggest one thing, and the reason why I'm gonna say this is, and I really mean this. One of the reasons why, and I kept bringing up the fact of where did Mace come from, and the reason why I brought that up is because, first of all, Mace is not familiar with these sheep. He don't know these people, and these people don't know him. Okay. Now, if they're giving him the church in name only, because from what I've been hearing from some other people is there ain't nobody in there, no way. So he's really just getting the name and whatever the church has, which is not very much from what I'm hearing, because all of the money and the stuff has gone away. It just seems like a very interesting situation. Okay. And what I was going to say is those people don't know him. And the reason why they never pick people from within the congregation is because you have to be in relationship with those people. And the model of church that we have and because everybody is in such a rush to be the next biggest and best thing, they're trying to always create this aloofness to them that, the pastor is not very familiar with the congregation and the congregation is not very familiar with the pastor. Now, I'm not saying that happens with all churches, but I'm saying a lot of these preachers come with that kind of mentality and they really don't even know the people that they're pastoring. And I really feel like you just said, what if he would have went to the congregation and said, hey, congregation, I'm thinking about stepping down, but I've been the pastor of this church for thus long, and I've been mentoring such and such, Reverend such and such, who's in here with us, and we're going to turn over the ministry and such to Reverend whoever. But of course, like you said, they have to go out, and which makes me very suspect of this situation as well. And I alluded to this earlier. What makes me suspect of this situation is because I'm looking at, is this more or less a financial transaction? Where does somebody who doesn't have any relationship with these people just come out of nowhere and you go, hey, he's your new preacher? And there's already questions surrounding whether or not you are, that there's mismanagement of funds. There is an abuse. People are saying that you're spiritually abusive. And I'm not going into detail with that because, of course, I don't know you. And so it's very interesting. And so it's just very, very interesting to me. So that's my thought on that. What do you think about that?
Well, it's just problematic. If you watch the video on the website that made the announcement, you notice where Creflo Dollar gets on there and co-signs the whole transition. He doesn't mention anything about the improprieties that happened or nothing. He just says, the pastor that's stepping down is good and he's great, and Mace is coming in and he's good and great, and you sheep, y'all blessed to have these kinds of leaders. And it's just like insane to me. I mean, and these two guys are supposedly disciples of Creflo, so Creflo is actually really responsible for both of them. Because remember Mace, when he renounced the world and stopped rapping and became a pastor, he became a pastor up under Creflo.
Right. And he was a failure then, and he's going to be a failure now. And here's why he's going to be a failure then, and he's going to be a failure now, is because Mace shouldn't be nobody's pastor. That's just number one. And I'm sorry, I know many of you are going to disagree with me, but that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to have my opinion. Here's why I feel like Mace should not be anybody's pastor. From the moment I have seen this boy's transition into sort of going into ministry, he has this same kind of mentality that Creflo Dollar has when it's all about money. Money, 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 money. Even and it just to hear you say that Creflo got on later and just solidified the deal lets me know that this is a disaster again waiting to happen. And it's unfortunate, but that's how I feel. Caller, is there anything else you'd like to add before I move to the next caller?
No, sir, but you all can support Bishop Maybach when he comes back, he needs a few funds to get the latest 2021 Ghost. So y'all can do that.
Well, I know about Bishop Maybach, and I'll have Bishop Maybach on the program. That'll be a very interesting situation. Thank you so much for calling. Caller ending in 4971. What would you like to add? You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. Where are you calling me from?
Calling from Virginia.
Virginia. Okay. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes.
And what would you like to add to the conversation?
First of all, hello, Mr. Marcellus. This is Kendra. I know you don't know me, but I think the last time I listened when we were covering the KPP. But tonight I'm enjoying the conversation. I did want to say something. I have a comment.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. The young man that called in earlier, who worked for Reverend Mason, or Pastor Mason, I heard you ask him a question. Was he a pastor or was he just preaching? I think that there's a generation that has been unchurched but brought into the church, and they don't understand church culture.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, you can be an associate minister and preach.
Right.
You can just walk out here YouTube and say you're a minister and preach.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not necessarily the pastor.
Correct.
The pastor oversees the whole flock and has the whole church, and he's responsible for the body of Christ that goes to that church. And I think you asked him that all the time, and I don't think he got it.
Right.
And now, if you're a pastor and you call Joe Blow to come preach under you, then you're responsible for letting that person preach under you at your church.
Right.
And they've not been completely converted, or they don't hold the things of Christ in their heart like they're supposed to.
Right.
I'm not sure that he's pastored when he went back into G Unit and into the rapping game. In other words, I wonder if he was under shepherd. I wonder if he was an associate minister, or was he actually a pastor of a church where he wrote the check, paid the bills. You know, I don't think these young churches have bylaws anymore. They don't just hold back and come to conference, let's have bylaws, let you know where everybody is and what everybody's doing, what everybody's role is.
Right. Well, a lot of people don't even understand that church has a culture. Let's just start there. And that's one of the reasons why I do these shows, is because people they don't understand that. And when you say things like that, they're like, huh? Yeah, just like hip hop has a culture, and just like that other everything else has a culture, the church has a culture too. Now, let me say this. It says a lot when the two people that you claim to be mentoring are failures and that are leaving their churches and stepping down, and now one of them's coming back to take up the other loser's church. And I hate to say that and say it like that, but if Creflo is mentoring these two people, they're both losers. And what does that really have to go ahead?
And I heard you. I'm gonna let you finish. Sorry, Mr. Marcellus.
No, but I mean, what does that have to say about Creflo? I mean, if these are your sons in ministry and these are the people that you are mentoring, what does that have to say about Creflo? I'm just asking a question.
Well, okay, and I'm gonna try to answer. But I know now that your format is for you to bring the questions to our mind in the context of speech.
Right.
One, I'm not going to call them failures, so I'm not going to second that emotion. I'm going to say they may not know they have gifts, and they may be steadily being perfected. The Bible says that God is the potter and we are the clay, and sometimes we break down and have to be built back up. So I'm not going to call them losers. I might say they got enthusiastic and started too early. A lot of young people want to preach while they're young, and a lot of times we fail jumping on that too quickly. I'm going to say another thing is we get too arrogant sometimes, and we don't get the help that we need. And then sometimes we do have seniors. A lot of us have had teachers who are failures, who have gotten by with doing things in the body of Christ that weren't right, and people are not taking it anymore. People are not taking the mess.
Right.
People don't want mess in the White House. People don't want mess on their job. People don't want mess around them, period, because we already messy enough. And if we're going to go to the body of Christ, we want that to be right. We want that to be perfect, because that's what God promised us.
Well,
and so I'm not going to call them losers, because they can be rebuilt, they can be
right.
reformed. And then,
well, the scripture teaches us, but the scripture teaches us that, that we're supposed to strengthen the weak. So when I talk about them failing, I'm not talking about them failing as human beings. But if you're leaving your church and you're leaving your church under a situation where they're financially strapped and people are leaving because they feel like you're spiritually abusing them, and they're accusing you and making all sorts of accusations against you.
Can I tell you what the problem is?
Go ahead.
And this is my argument. And I apologize to you, because back when you were talking about TPP, you are doing a great job bringing darkness to the light. My argument has always been that when we say church, we put a black eye on the whole church as a body from coast to coast and top to bottom. Just like saying, if one black person goes something bad, the news will say all black people.
Right.
That's my problem with the word church. I wish that we would all say some churches, and some of these churches have bad models, and don't say the word church, but just say some of these organizations that are disguising themselves as churches that are really just wanting money. So
right.
I said that to say that a lot of these churches started about money. They're about numbers, but not about conversion. That's why you have girls that can come to church sharing with their cities, and you got girls that can come to church with tight skirts on. And I know they're gonna say it's not about the clothes.
Well, you think I'm gonna have a problem with girls coming to church showing their titties? You're gonna have a whole problem. Because I'm just telling you, blessed be the fruit. Look, you talk to God about that. I'll just simply say, blessed be the Lord. He addeth to the church daily such as needed to be saved. That's all I.
And I'm not judging them. And women should be women. And you know what? Women do need to show that courage, but they don't need to show. They don't need to show. They don't have to show. Their clothes can fit, not too tight, but they can fit. We do need to look like women, so men will know that.
Well, if you showing all your blessed assurance, all I'm gonna have to tell you is Jesus is mine.
Let me get off this call. I have it shine on you in 2021.
All right.
Thank you for shining a light. Remember not to say all churches. There are churches.
I understand. And if you listen to me, you will always hear me say not everyone. I said that earlier. I said it's not all churches. I did say that earlier.
The young people need to know the church don't work. What did the church get in the land? They showed up and voted.
Yeah, and thank God, because now things are different. Even though they've caused an insurrection, but it is what it is. But thank you guys so very much, and thank you for calling. I got one more story, and I'm gonna tell this, read some comments, and get out of here. I'm about to make some folks real mad, so hang on for this. All right, guys, we got one more story that we need to. I got another caller. Is that another caller? I'm sorry. Hold on, caller. I got another caller. I believe this is caller ending in 9856. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Oh, God bless you. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the broadcast. I always do. Very informative. I just want to bring one point up. Mm-hmm. I'm still stuck at that $10,000 a month thing.
Yeah.
I can't get past it.
Yeah. The members.
That's a lot going on there.
Yeah. That's over $100,000 a year. I'm just saying. And
it's something
and it's a failing church.
Oh, go ahead.
But you're now
yeah.
you made this money, and you were making $10,000 a month, and now the membership has dwindled, and now you're leaving, and now you're charging $9.99 a month if anybody needs to hear from you anymore.
I mean, I've never seen I've seen things like this. I mean, but this is just just grieves my spirit. And I saw when he introduced Mason, and I was like, there's so many unanswered questions. Like, why are you stepping down?
Exactly. And that's exactly one of the reasons why I'm doing this program. Exactly.
Right. It's like, what are you running from or what are you hiding? And it's like, God is a forgiving God, and we're all not perfect, we all know that. But sometimes just putting stuff out there and being honest and just say, here, this is what's going on. I can respect you more. Right. This is very suspect,
Right. Well,
I'm saying, well, if that's the case, why don't you just put DMX up there?
Oh, my goodness. And Lord, Rough Riders, for real. And I love DMX. I have to tell the truth. I love me some DMX. Look, if he go I'll go to DMX church for a minute, because one thing about a crackhead, when the crackhead get into the spirit, I'm telling you right now, because look, there's been some moments I have to tell you that DMX have, like, spiritually, I'll be like, oh, that boy on to something. Oh, he on to something. And I really feel like when he prays, he means what he says. I really do believe that.
Yeah, he does. I've heard him pray some very, very deep, powerful prayers. I was surprised myself.
I've heard him pray.
I'm like, he just outdid me.
Every time I hear Mason pray, or that Pastor Bethesda, all I hear is hickory dickory, Dr. Mouse ran up the clock. All he doing, he's just repeating stuff, but it's like stuff he's just repeating the same stuff that he's always heard from Creflo or from some other person, and he's just repeating the same stuff. And to me, it would be different if you came from a different biblical place and you're coming to the church preaching this word of faith stuff. So this is his foundation. You understand what I'm saying? So his foundation is a little shaky to me. And so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe you probably need to go and get mentored by somebody else who's a little bit more seasoned or something, because I'm having trouble with your hickory dickory dock messages. That's all I'm saying. Now, I know the young people they like him because they're unfamiliar with church, and maybe I'm getting older and I've been around for too long. But I just feel like when I hear preachers like Mace, it's just like, really? Is this what we doing?
Well, I think they're on this thing where it's a new generation, but people got saved back in the 60s to "Oh Happy Day," and today they still get saved to the same song.
Yeah.
The message is the same.
Yeah.
I just think people have to understand it's just more than just appealing to the surface.
Right.
We got to get to the core of people's problems, and it's easy to get there and be a former rapper. Now I'm a preacher. Oh, let's go to this church.
Right.
I mean,
right.
And
they use their celebrity.
It's name recognition.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
Yeah, they
name
definitely use their celebrity. Is there any?
Look, MC Hammer. Remember, he was pastor.
Yeah, just over the top.
Remember my MC Hammer pastor for a minute?
I remember. Yeah. I remember everybody.
Celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that's when he was going broke. Yeah, he was going broke, but the IRS could touch that, and they did touch that, and that's one of the reasons why you don't hear from him as much, even though he's invested in some other countries. But the IRS could touch that, and they did touch that. And
yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah, bless his heart. Is there anything else you'd like to add before I move on to the next caller?
No, that's pretty much it, bro. I just want to say, continue what you're doing. God bless you, sir. And be strong and be encouraged.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, caller, ending in 8325. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add tonight?
I would just like to say that many are called, few are chosen, and some win.
Okay, what did you say? Because I had a little trouble hearing you. What did you say?
I said, many are called, few are chosen, some win.
Correct.
That's my comment.
All right. That is very true. And thank you so much for calling, caller. Thank you so much. I don't know why this thing is misbehaving like this. Now, wait a minute now. Okay, hopefully that'll be a little better. All right, let me tell y'all something. And that caller is correct. There, many are called, but few are chosen. And I think the difference between being called and chosen is individuals who get called have sense enough to wait, be taught, and be mentored and be matured then so that they can be sent, so that they can do the work of ministry. Because the purpose of the gifts and the purpose of the functions that have been given to us, such as pastors, teachers, evangelists, so forth, those functions and those gifts were given to us so that we could actually be doing something. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm going to come to the close of my last story on tonight, and then I'm going to get out of here. But before I do, you guys know last week I mentioned about Bishop Marvin Winans, and I told you guys about Bishop Marvin Winans going off on a lady in his congregation on New Year's Eve night. Well, of course, some folks got in my comment section and they just went ham on me, little old me. And, they went ham on me and they was mad at me because they were like, I can't believe you're going to talk about our bishop like that. How dare you? You don't know what you're talking about. He don't be supporting O'Brien Carn. Well, let's rethink that again. My statement to you all as it relates to Brian Carn is Brian Carn is consistently and they are proficiently propping up Brian Carn by means of some of these other ministers and preachers and by way of supporting Gertrude Stacks. And I know y'all just get so upset that I talked about y'all beloved Gertrude Stacks. But by propping her up, who goes to his church, runs revival, and Marvin Winans goes over there to her church and runs revival, and they're doing all of this stuff together. Okay, together. They ain't all hiding, okay? Or just so you know. That in essence, that is support. Because he doesn't come out and he doesn't speak out against Brian Carn. And all of these preachers and pastors and bishops who claim to be prophetic, you don't hear him saying nothing when Brian Carn lies and messes up and says anything, which by nature and by if you're funding the dysfunction and you're allowing the dysfunction to continue to roll, you're in support of the dysfunction. Sorry, that's kind of how it goes. So here's my issue with you all tonight. Let me say this. I was sent some messages. Well, let's read the messages. Let's talk about the messages. Because I got a whole bunch of responses from you all. And text messages. Let's go with this one. It says, I don't see anything Pastor Winans did wrong. This radio host, or so-called radio host, obviously has a personal problem with the bishop. No, I don't have a personal problem with your bishop. Outside of what I mentioned as far as him hitting me with his Batman coat. You know, I don't have a personal issue with your bishop at all, Quentin. Not at all, sir. He says, how about finding out the details before we go public with stuff? Excuse me, sir. Your pastor went public. I didn't go public with anything. It was already public information. And see, this is the problem with you all. You all start attacking the people who are talking about the stuff without recognizing and understanding. No, sir, this was already public information. Your pastor went public the moment that he streamed his show live to millions of people all around the world. That made it public, sir. Okay, so this whole idea about somebody, making stuff public, I didn't make this public. It was already public. He said, if you read your Bible, he wasn't out of order. Well, sir, you obviously don't know who you're speaking to, and that's quite all right. But I am fully aware of the scripture. I am a little bit proficient as it relates to the scripture. And I quite think that when you all make statements like this, that you're not listening. You're just coming by and you're doing these drive-by comments, which, continuously are going to get you all in a lot of hot water. Now, Quentin, understand something. I'm not upset or mad at you at all. You all seem to be a little upset with me, but I'm a little bit more mature when I read your comments. And a lot of times I don't even respond to it because I understand you're coming from a place where you love your pastor and you love your bishop and you're supporting your bishop, and I get it. But your anger is completely misdirected. Okay? All right. He said, I heard what he said across the pulpit, but we can't see or hear that woman, what the woman is doing. Of course, we can't. Okay, we could not see or hear what the woman was doing, but obviously she was doing something that required him to stop the service and address her by her first and her last name. And he asked that the woman be escorted out. He said the watch service was about 3 hours long, and all folk can talk about is this small segment. Yeah, because typically, Quentin, your pastor ain't really talking about nothing. And so the only thing that people are going to talk about is this particular foolishness that goes on. And let me just say this, Quentin. If people choose to talk about whatever section of the service they choose to talk about it, the mature thing is to understand that is those people's right and decision, and they can do whatever it is that they choose to do. Okay. Now he says all of these talk/radio shows are the real problem. No, Quentin. Let me just make you aware of something so that you fully understand something. The internet and YouTube, and I said this years ago, and I'm going to repeat it again so you all can get the revelation. YouTube, social media is the great equalizer. For too many years, preachers were allowed to say whatever they wanted to say from their pulpit, and nobody could say anything back or challenge them, and they could never use their voices or raise their voices to be heard as it relates to the stupid stuff that comes over these pulpits and all of this stuff. So let me just let you know, Quentin, we have a right to speak our voice just like your pastor has a right to speak his. And if he can be rude and disrespectful and say the things that he wants, we have more than a right to address your pastor. Okay. And that's my thoughts for you, Quentin. All right. Have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Now, our next commenter is Daryl Nelson. Mr. Nelson sends me a message and says, Marvin said she is kind of heavy because she was fighting you. Now, that, in my opinion, is not a reference to her actual weight. Well, Daryl, anyone who is familiar with your pastor or has any run-ins with your pastor or his brothers or his family, for that matter, knows that they have the tendency to be quite shady in their speech. Understand something. We perceived and we received the information just as it was intended. He made a statement about her being kind of heavy because she was fighting you. If she was fighting the person, obviously he could have just addressed the person and say, oh, well, she's fighting you, carry her on out. But he made it emphasis to make sure. And if you see his face when he made the statement and he looked into the crowd. Okay, I'm just saying. Here's what he said. Either the host missed that part or he didn't want to say anything. No, Daryl, I actually mentioned it. I actually said it. That's what we talked about in the commentary. He said everything the host said tonight was hearsay. Of course it's hearsay because I wasn't in the building. Of course it's hearsay. Of course, we can only go by and judge by the video that we saw. That's why we refer to it as commentary. Okay? I'm going to be here. All right. In other words, it's the host's opinion. Duh, you nincompoop. Duh. It is my opinion, of course. That's what I talk about. I tell y'all that the whole darn time. It's my opinion. I'm just saying. It's my opinion, and I have every right to my opinion. I'm just saying. Just like you have every right to your opinion. And this here my Jew joint, and I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about and how I want to talk about it on my Jew joint. He says, I like Marcellus. Well, I like you too, Daryl. And I listen to him often. Thank you so much for listening to me, Daryl, because I appreciate you. And I hope you don't get offended by the things that I'm saying, but I just want you to know, Daryl, I have a right to talk about it, even though it's hearsay. Okay? But it sounds like he has a problem with Marvin. Listen. I don't personally have a problem with Marvin other than the fact that he hit me with his coat. That's it. And he was very rude and disrespectful to a group of ministers as we stood talking after a meeting with Bishop Jakes. He was very, very rude and very, very disrespectful to us. And I'm just going to say that. He was very rude. Now, it is what it is. He was rude. And he said, and that's cool, but he has no facts to back them up. The fact is, he hit me with his coat. The fact is, he was rude to me and my friends. and some other ministers, and that is a fact. I didn't make that up. That was my own personal experience. I didn't make that up, sir. Just so you know. Okay? Also, he says, I'm still waiting on facts and the truth. That is the side I'm on. Okay, well, I want you to stay on the side of the truth, Daryl, and that's a wonderful place to be. And I appreciate you, bringing that out and bringing the comments. Yes, it's hearsay, Daryl. You're correct, because I wasn't there. I don't have a personal grudge against Marvin Winans other than the fact that he hit me with his darn coat and he didn't even say excuse me. And that's just, that's petty. I ain't worried about that. But other than that, I don't have any issue with Marvin, except for the fact that he's very rude and he is a little shady. I'm probably not going to say your name right. So forgive me. I'm just going to say Renee. All right. Renee. All right. Before you put your mouth on my bishop, let me say this. I will never put my mouth on your bishop, Renee. My mouth will never be on your bishop. But I will talk about your bishop. And if that's what you meant by put my mouth on him, just so the folks that are unchurched can understand that's what you meant by that, I just wanted to bring some clarity to it, just so you understand. All right. I've been a PC for almost 20 years, and I know exactly who he was talking to. Okay, wonderful. She's going to give us some insight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready for the wonderful insight that she's about to provide. Let's see where she goes with this. Here's what she says. This woman has pulled this mess before. I can recall an incident back in 2003 when she did the same thing and Bishop politely asked her to sit down and she refused. He had come out of the pulpit and asked her again nicely to sit down. She's been banned from the church. Oh, Lord, they done banned her. Wait a minute. What do you mean they banned her? Wait a minute. Why didn't y'all get Gertrude Stacks to come over there and get one of her miracle hankies that she ties around people's necks and hit them in the chest and bring it out? Why didn't you bring Gertrude Stacks for deliverance? Where was Gertrude? Go get Gertrude and tell Gertrude, because Marvin loves him some Gertrude. Go ahead and get Gertrude Stacks and have her to come over and lay hands and put one of them hankies around somebody's neck and up. What happened? Renee, what happened? He said he went out of the pulpit and politely asked her to sit down. She's been banned from the church. Lord have mercy. They don't even think Jesus can fix her. They done put her out, y'all. How she got in that night, nobody knows. Lord have mercy. They done hired Secret Service to scope her out. So in case she show up to the service, they can keep her butt from coming in. Lord have mercy. How she got in there. Bishop don't even have to open up the church for watch night service. No, he shouldn't open up the service, Renee, because we in the midst of a COVID crisis. He ain't doing nobody no favor because he opened up the church. You're supposed to be somewhere being still and keeping your hind parts quiet. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing. I'm just saying. Let me get to this caller. I'm just saying. I know y'all be mad, but I don't care. Caller ending in 1912. You're live on the Mad Church Disease podcast. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Try your knees.
Of commonplace. Oh no, that's not how it goes.
Daryl?
No. It goes, try your knees. I found some steaks. No, go ahead. Oh Lord.
Okay. Giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, to all the saints. The hell? These comments. The hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to call and talk about the other stuff till you started reading them comments.
Yeah, I know those comments can be a little bit much, but that's why I read them. And that's why I bring them to the forefront, because first of all, I want people to understand. We just on here having a conversation. You don't have to get so worked up. You don't have to get so worked up. And you don't have to be so angry. First of all, if I'm not mad, you don't need to be mad. Now, when I get mad, that's when you need to be concerned. Okay, but if I'm having fun and I'm laughing and we just talking, hey, let it be what it is. I'm just saying. All right, Jacqueline, try your knees. I found some steaks. Go ahead.
Okay, but I had wanted to tell you one thing, though.
Okay.
Early in the show, you was talking to the young man that loved Mace.
Mm-hmm.
He was a sound director, backup member, doo-wop, pop. He went to the church, maybe not. He was confused. He didn't know if he was the pastor, the associate minister. He wasn't really sure what Mace did. Whether he was rapping, singing, preaching, teaching, he wasn't sure.
Right.
But you remember on the 5 Heartbeats when Eddie Kane had came on in there and hit that note, and Cookie was on the front row, and she was squirming in that chair. Mm-hmm. That's how fine you was looking when you didn't get mad and you didn't cut up.
Thank you so much.
And I was squirming in this chair. Pastor.
Thank you so much.
I felt the Holy Ghost.
Thank you so much.
Move. And I wanted to say, praise God.
Oh, well, blessed be the fruit.
That's my comment for the day. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you. You a mess. You a mess. I'll see you in the comments. You know what's coming next. All right.
Bye.
All right, bye. Listen here. I'm always going to try to remain calm. And even if I get upset, most of the time I'll come back and I'll either apologize or I'll deal with the situation. Now, there's a woman that was in the chat a couple of weeks ago, and I know she called in and she done dropped off the line. She left. But I'm not mad at you, Miss Patterson, either, just so that you know it. Miss Patterson, I'm not mad at you, just so you know. And that's why I unblocked you, because first of all, I like having conversations with everybody. And even though we don't agree along, we don't have to agree along to get along. Okay. I'm a respectful gentleman as long as you remain respectful to me. But when you start that name calling and all that foolishness is where we're going to have a little bit of trouble. So just, let's all just try to remain respectful to one another as well. All right. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the close of our program on tonight. Let me just simply say to you all, the A-Team will be located here tomorrow at our normal time, the same time that this program came on today. The A-Team show will be here tomorrow. It will be Roxanne with Speak Your Truth. Wonderful program. So get ready for that. Then we're going to have Daryl the Cigar Vlogger here. We're going to have Let Me See Your Transcripts here. And also, and myself. I didn't name myself. They're all going to be here. And I'm telling you all, it's going to be a wonderful time tomorrow, because we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. And I see there's some calls holding. Let me roll over and grab these calls before I get out of here. I'm going to give y'all 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, caller ending in 7026. You got 2 minutes.
Wonderful. Hello there.
Hello.
Yes, I just wanted to solidify some of the things that you may have said about the illustrious Pastor Winans.
Mm-hmm.
The illustrious and indubitable Pastor Winans. He hit you with his hopes. And I don't appreciate that. He was Batman on that day when he was with you. But I just want to let you know that ain't nothing new for the pastor. I live in the city. I live around the city, and I work amongst people in the city. So I just want to make sure people know that he came through the airport quite a few years ago. He had someone in the airport taking his coat off, taking his jewelry off, taking his shoes off, and it was a man. It was a man with some extra fingernails and fingernail polish and stuff. But that you ain't heard it from me. Just want to let you know something ain't right. Something.
Oh wow. Oh well, caller, I think you might have lost your connection. Where you at, caller? Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Lord have mercy. Oh, man. All right, caller. Whew. I don't get that whole armor bearer thing. Now, I used to help my one of the pastors, and when I was coming up as a teenager, I did all of the stuff that they call armor bearers, but we didn't take it to the extreme that you all take it to today. You all do too much stuff, carrying people's Bibles and briefcases, and the pastor can carry his own Bible, he can carry his own briefcase. He take off his own shoes, nigga. You want me to take off your shoes? You want me to take off your shoes and your jewelry? No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. All right. We've come to the close, and I'm sorry to the other caller who just dropped off. You guys, you moved a little fast. I was coming to you. Let me just tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, I'm going to deal with something that Bishop J. Delano Ellis said before he passed away. Of course, he has gone home to be with the Lord. I know a lot of times for some people, it's uncomfortable to have conversations about people who have died. And sometimes y'all get in y'all feelings about that. But in this particular instance, I'm not talking about the man per se, except there's something that he said that I want to address on next week's show. And I want us to give some thought to a statement that he made. And I want to talk about why the statement that he made is so problematic, and it creates such codependent Christians in the institutionalized church. So we're going to have a very, very, very interesting discussion next week. And it's going to be dealing with pastors. It's going to be dealing with leadership as far as this whole idea that you can have an independent thought. And you can have the statement was made, you can have an independent thought, but you cannot have an independent opinion as it relates to leadership. And I want to address that on next week. And we're going to talk about having independent thoughts as well as having independent opinions as it relates to leadership. And I know for a lot of people like to use Moses as an example as it relates to that, but we'll talk about that some next week. But I'm going to get into this whole idea that you can't have an independent thought, or you can't give your opinion as it comes to your leader or the person who's claiming to be the leader as it relates to that. So we're going to get into that conversation next week. Get ready. Buckle up, because it's going to be a humdinger. I'm telling you that right now. And I've been wanting to do that conversation for a long, long, long time. And so it's going to be I'm sure it's going to be people are going to be very passionate about some of the stuff that I'm going to say next week. But it is what it is, and it's my juke joint, and I can do what I want. Thank you guys so very much for coming to the Mad Church Disease Podcast. It is because of your support that I'm able to do these shows, and I'm able to keep things going the way that we keep things going, understanding. And I want to end this by telling you again, this is not a church show. This is a show about church, which means we're not over here trying to teach doctrine. We're not over here trying to get you to believe or think like I believe or think. Oh, I don't know what the deal is. I'm not trying to convince you to become a follower of me. You're just an individual who's watching the program. I appreciate it. Please make sure you hit the like button on your way out. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Melody again for your Cash App. And there was somebody else who sent something. I thought I saw it. Oh, Lord. To all the people that have Cash Apped me, thank y'all so much. For all of you that are supporting the show, thank you so very much. Keep in mind, guys, you can now purchase and join, get you a membership to the program. I'm going to be releasing some private videos to some of the members only. I'm going to be doing that and making some videos in the next couple of days. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to our giveaway. Of course, we give away $100 every single month to some lucky individual, and the moderators are going to put that information inside of the chat. Make sure you join me here again on the Mad Church Disease channel tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I don't know what the heck that is, Central Time. Join me and my the four merry bandits. It's going to be the four of us discussing all of the mess that's been going on. If you missed our live yesterday where we discussed Donald Trump and the situation that's going on, please make sure that you go back and watch it. I had a dream months ago that this was going to happen, and I told everybody that this was going to happen, and we went over it, and we talked about the dream and the things that I had seen. Also, I found out today, unfortunately, that a police officer was shot, and there was a police officer that was injured or killed, and I'm not very happy about it. So I just want to let you guys know, I did find word about that, and there was a police officer who lost their life in this situation as well. And so, it's one thing to get a word from the Lord or to have God step over into your dream and show you something. And then it's something when that becomes a reality and you have to process that, and you see and hear so many things going on in the public, and people, are not really taking things serious. So it really, it makes me emotional. It makes me sad, but God gives us those words and God gives us those situations so that we can be vigilant and we can be aware that the stuff is happening, and I thank God that he revealed it to us and he showed us that so that we could be prepared, and we could be prepared for it. All I can tell you guys is hang on for the next, 13 days. Oh my God, we are in for this 13 days. It's going to almost be like the tribulation period. I am telling you, this next 13 days is going to be like the tribulation period. So you better be praying. This is what I say. I say, send Donald Trump home. Tell him he can work from home. Since we're in a COVID crisis, let him know that he can work from Mar-a-Lago. Let him go play golf. For the next 13 days, he could just keep playing golf until his little heart is content. Let him go and play golf. And that's how I feel about that. He don't need to make no decisions because he don't make none, no way. And to all of the people that are resigning, shame on you guys for taking so long to resign. You should have resigned years ago, as far as I'm concerned. When he was doing some of that other stuff he was doing. Shame on some of you for even lasting this long. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Remember, you can purchase you a membership, and that membership goes to help us, upgrade equipment and keep the show going. And possibly, it's going to really help us to get our Las Vegas stuff together because we need a lot more support to get that trip done. I think I'm going to have to start raising an offering just for the Las Vegas trip because I was using the memberships and asking everybody to join the membership because I'll use the membership stuff to fund our Vegas stuff. But in a minute, I'm going to have to ask you guys to just simply give just to help us with this Las Vegas stuff. So if you want, you know what I mean? Because we want to meet up sometime this year in Las Vegas. All right. So thank y'all so very much. I love you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the awesome moderators. Shout out to all of the awesome callers. All of the callers who called in, including the gentleman who called first to let us know, slow down, Mace, you're killing them. We didn't really fully understand that whole situation because when Puffy get to moving, y'all know how Puffy was. Take this. Slow down, Mace, you're killing. Y'all know how he was doing. Take this. Y'all know how they was doing back in the day. Shout out to all of the callers. Shout out to all of the folks in the chat that are, leaving a message or saying something. Shout out to all you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so very much. I'm going to go lay down. I'm not about to do any more work for tonight. I'm officially done. I ain't doing nothing else tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna probably go watch me a movie because I don't want to do nothing else. Please make sure you hit the like button on your way out. It helps support the show. It's free. You ain't paying nothing. So just please make sure you hit the like button on your way out. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow night on Daryl Moore's channel. Then on Saturday night, it is the ladies' night on Let Me See Your Transcripts channel. I don't know know what they're going to be discussing this Saturday night, but they always have some rich conversations. Let me tell you something. If you want to get to know me and Daryl and Let Me See Transcripts and Roxanne a little bit more intimately, Saturday nights would be a great night for you to tune in on Let Me See Your Transcripts channel, because I talk about things over there that will probably be very shocking and amazing to a lot of you guys. And then y'all be saying I ain't saved and I don't know the Lord. But it would be good for you to come over and hear the conversation. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on tomorrow night. So God bless.